costume design.
Wow.
And I had a lot of airtime in between gigs. And so that's when I really started looking seriously at doing an Etsy. And part of that was going to be doing social media. So I had 12 designs originally, and I started them up on Instagram in like, I think 2014 or 2015. And then it was a slow build for a while. I just posted pictures of my work and, fun little captions and stuff like that. It wasn't until I started putting myself in the picture that things really started to take off. And that's kind of my biggest advice for people that are like looking to do this, is make it unique, because there's a ton of people out there doing crochet. So you have to make yourself stand out, and that's by being you, because you are the only one of you.
So how did you do that? With using that same advice now and thinking about the landscape, there are all these patterns across the world. Like the globe is this expansive place. We have all of this space. And then like, where do you fit in? Like, how does it take it and make it Drew? Where does Drew fall into this?
And that's gonna like be different for everyone.
Of course.
But for me, it's about like my sense of humor, my sense of like my eye, like what I think looks right for an amigurumi. Like, there's so many different ways to do absolutely everything in crochet. And so doing it my way and staying true to that is what puts me apart, because it's me.
Okay. And thank you for that follow. Welcome in, Pook Speak. Good to see you. Are you maker crafter? Welcome in. Appreciate having you. A Cuffchin up here. Oboe he didn't. That does not need to be ignored. I am the oboe player. Hello. Never walk up to the Eiffel Tower too tall. Here, they're still, oh my gosh. They're just all the hell all over the place. Yeah.
I called it a different name.
Yeah, I know. Megan, welcome in. Great job, Drew, right? On all the little cutie ammies, his first free hand. And thank you for thanking your gifter. Happy Kittens, welcome in as well. Yo, welcome in, Poopspeak. Good to see you. It's the way he says hello, 100%. And hello, Puff. Welcome in. So you decided to do that. Now, which came first, the Etsy or the social, or were they close to each other and you just started to post? Like, were you doing hobby posts first before patterns and selling your work? And like, hey, look, I make cute stuff. I don't have a store, but I will.
The Instagram kind of just led up to it. So I knew I was going to be opening a shop, but I wanted to wait until I had all of the designs ready to go. And like opening a shop for the first time is a lot of work, like coming up with the logo and all the listings and figuring out the bank stuff and the taxes and everything was a lot. So in the meantime, while I was making stuff, I would post them on Instagram, and then just sort of ramp it up. And then I posted like a big thing on both Instagram and Facebook being like, I've opened a shop, and that was that. So it started, just barely started with socials, and then I launched the Etsy that way. Okay,
so pretty close together. Yo, Panda, welcome in. Good to see you. Happy Monday. I guess almost Tuesday for you, friend. Good to see you. I says, hi, Drew. Nice to be here. Nice to meet you. Thank you for that, Pook Speak. You sweet bean. What kind of crafts do you do? Let us know. And welcome in. So now you've made this now. You're what do you do next? Because you've got all these things you're creating. Do you just keep making more? Like, is there anything you did differently? Or, you're on Instagram and Etsy, but like this TikTok thing kind of pops up. But like, were you growing your platform, your business first and what you were doing before that shift? Or did you just like, I need to do more, I need to expand? Like, how did that go?
TikTok was an accident.
Well, we love accidents that are happy.
Well, I was like slowly but steadily growing my Instagram. I think when I joined TikTok, I had maybe 4,000 followers on Instagram. Like several years of like really bumping and grinding, because it used to be a thing where like the more posts you liked, the more Instagram would like shout out your like account. So I used to go every day and I would go into the amigurumi hashtag and I would like the first like 100 posts. This was taking like a couple hours a day, just like trying to grow. And so like slowly, steadily over time. And then the pandemic happened. And so everything was kind of shut down. And I was like, I really should ramp this up. I'm at home. I have nothing else to do. Like, I've got all my yarn here. And I'd been watching a bunch of TikTok compilation videos on YouTube. So I was like, okay. And then there was a whole drama about the TikTok being taken out of the App Store. Like, the previous president was trying to get rid of it. And so I was like, well, just in case, I'll download it. So
before it goes away.
Just in case. So my TikTok now it was just like my own personal account. And I just watched videos on it. Like I downloaded it in the summer of 2020 and I didn't start posting until near the end of 2020. And then it was my 5th video in 2021. It was I think February. I posted a video of a chunky hippo with the sound like I like them big, I like them chunky, and it got over 1 million views like pretty quickly.
Oh my gosh. People have
That's
been
just
saying TikTok gives you that one grace of like this explosive video and then like never again for a while if there's some algorithm talk and chatter about it.
I don't understand the algorithm and I never will understand the algorithm. I just post things that I like and hope for the best.
Good luck.
That's what started, and so that really like the burst in TikTok followers boosted my Instagram followers, and just everything just sort of builded very rapidly after that, which was awesome. And again, that was just because it was me showing myself as well as the work I was doing. So it was like not just pictures of my work.
Well, I mean, everyone, it's funny because you hear a lot of people talk about when you post the art, but then when you post yourself with the art, you get more views, likes, whatever. Like there's a face, something associated for people versus not including that. I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't tested it. I'm in like 0 Instagram posts. I think my face showed up like 2 years ago once. I thought for a while I would hide behind the brand. And then I'm like, I've started in Facebook groups. My full name and face have been out there for how long? Like, I would say we as Pick Stitch, but people are like, oh, is it more than you? Is it like a company? And I'm like, it's just me. We need to like put our name a little out there, I guess, whatever, because I'm doing charity. So like it by default, it fell out. My name was out there, so I had to. Not that I'm a small boy. So you're on. Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's all about putting yourself as part of it, because again, it's pretty saturated. There are a lot of people doing, fiber arts or crafts or anything like that on social media. And so it's all about you that makes the difference. Totally.
Welcome in, Kat. How are you? Happy Monday. It's good to see you. So you're on the TikToks, you're there now. Which did you focus more? Were you managing Instagram and TikTok at this point? Were you focusing more heavily on TikTok because of its reach versus the photo life of Instagram? Like how did that all sort out? What do you post? The same thing in 2 areas?
Kind of. So at the time, like Instagram was not being super like reel heavy. It was all just photos on Instagram still. And so I would, post videos on TikTok of me making stuff and then post like the final studio photo of it on Instagram. So like they fed into each other pretty well.
Right.
Now Instagram's about reels, and that's the only way to get seen and growth. So now I just post the same thing. Sorry.
No, it's totally, it's I think about the social landscape and how much really has to go into this. Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest. Then you've got your storefronts, and I've left out socials at that point, right? Like your Ko-fis, your Kojis, your Patreons, Ravelries, Etsy's. Like this thing gets wild at some point. And like you're saying add more to your plate. How do you manage that? Like, what did you do? Did it get out of control? Did you fall off in some ways? I can't do this. Like, talk about that. How do you do that? Because you've blew up at some point and then continued to on socials. So like it just scales from here. More comments to respond to, more hatred, more love. Like there's a mix.
The initial blow up was terrifying.
I bet.
At the time I was offering custom orders, which custom orders are like a double-edged sword, because on one hand, like they're very good creativity, like for your creativity, like you try new things and branch out, but it's also terrible for like business. Just because it's difficult to know how long something's going to be, how difficult it's going to be, etc. And so a lot of times you end up underpricing what it should be, and so it takes a lot more time and should have cost a lot more money. So anyway, at the time I was still offering customs, and I was getting hundreds of messages from people asking for specific things, specific characters, and I shut down. I like made an auto response that was just like, hey, I'm so sorry, like I can't get to this right now, like I will try to get back to you as soon as I can.
Please leave a message, but don't expect me to get back to you with your request. Like
and it was, and like I'm sure like 95% of those were like not serious requests, and like would have backed out as soon as they
or
like,
people
learned
may
the
not know the
price.
price, but they want things, right? And they're not ready if you did share a price. So there's time in there too to communicate back. And whoa, you know, like all of that.
And so it kind of restructured, and that's TikTok is what really led me down the path of pattern writing, because I saw something like the Chunky Hippo and I thought, you know, I can't make enough for all the people who want them. But if I put the pattern out there, people could buy the pattern, they could either make it for themselves or someone else could hire them to make it for them, so that everyone who wants one can get one and I don't have to lose a finger from crocheting too much.
Oh Lord, do not. Nails are gonna be down to the bone. Your thumbs and fingers.
Yeah, just nubs.
So what was your very first pattern? Let's stop there. Let's pause on that thought. What was your very first pattern? Because I need to know this.
Oh, that's a good question. I think it was the elephant.
Was it?
The elephant bat. It was the old version of the elephant. I've updated the elephant.
You have a 2.0 now, yeah.
It was the old version of the elephant, because that was kind of my signature creature at the time. It was like in my logo, which has changed over the years.
Your Twitter says it's still there. I posted on Twitter today and I'm like, hang on, let me check this logo. This is, yeah, I see it. Okay, I've got the right Drew. This is the other logo, but the elephant exists.
Don't follow the Twitter. I have not logged in years.
I saw that too. Hey, if y'all want some history, follow his Twitter.
I didn't know what to post on Twitter, because I was like, do I just post pictures?
Politics. I mean, wait, no.
String theory.
God damn, that's what it feels like.
Yeah. So the elephant, and then before the pandemic, I hooked up with my local library and was teaching little seminars. Like once every couple months, I would go in and do a 3-hour class. And so I made some like small patterns. There was like a jellyfish and a little bird and a little cocoa cup. So I have some free patterns that I need to revamp, and then I'm going to be releasing them on Revler. But I had like a handful of free patterns that were very easy. And it wasn't really until TikTok that I was like, I need to start making some to sell, like some of the more challenging ones.
Well, and I asked this question because the bees come up. At some point, Drew B bees, like I said Drew B boo, and I said that meaning bee, but I said boo. So how did the bees come in, boo, for the Drew bees?
So I have a friend here in Michigan who is a beekeeper and apiarist, and for a while I was making her the little bees to sell at farmers markets and stuff alongside of her honey and other stuff like that. Since then I've had to stop just because it was too much. But so she had placed an order, so I had a bunch of them. And on TikTok there is Texas Bee Works, who is a beekeeper from Texas, who posts these incredible videos of her like saving bees from like random places. One was like in the tank of a toilet, like under an umbrella, like up in a washing machine. And so I had the idea to use her audio from one of these bee rescue videos, but using my crochet bees instead. And that is my biggest viewed video of all time. It was the one under the umbrella. It has, I think, like 8.6 million views. And that just like, that was, I thought the hippo video was my blow up, but the bees really.
You know, hippo was the start, the gateway. It was the bees, you'd find out. But I like that. I like that message though, like the beekeeper and whatnot. Like you've known this, you're doing something there and on the side. Like I think that's clever. Like there's something to piggyback on that from one small business to another and going there. That's so cool.
And if you're in the position and you have the time to team up with someone like that, then absolutely do it.
I agree. I think partnerships foster that stuff. Local, if you can connect. Like I think you and Zaddy have the most like adorable bromance connection story, friendship, besties, take shots and punches at each other every 5 seconds. Like it's ridiculous how well you two get along, at least from what we see. Maybe all like catty beside or behind, you know. But like the relationships, like you're such an infectious person to talk to. You're so positive. Your smile pulls us into your world. So like, how do you recommend folks approach in that kind of scenario, like to find things or to show what they can do? Like if they're just starting, like what advice would you give them?
Yeah, I mean the worst people can do is say no. I mean I guess they could do worse.
They could do worse, but
the most likely worst thing to do is say no. And so just talk to people, get to know them. That's one of the things I love about social media is like that's how I met people